Hello guys, today I'm doing an updated Q&A because it's been so long since I made one. I think it's almost been a year and so much has changed in the last year. So let's do an updated video. If TikTok really is getting banned, then I'll be posting over here a lot more. So I wanted you guys to get to know me better. So first I'm just going to introduce myself. I'm sure most of you guys already know most of these things about me, but my name is Hallie Sandberg. I am 20 years old and I live in Utah. This is my dog Otis and we just moved into this house. I got engaged last July to my high school sweetheart. Otis is licking my pants right now. And we're in the middle of planning our wedding. So let's get into all of that. I was born and raised in Utah. I've lived here my entire life, but I have lived in a bunch of different houses. I grew up moving around a lot because my dad loves to build houses and work on stuff like that. So like every couple of years I moved, but I always stayed like in the same city. I never moved schools. We would just move like neighborhoods. My mom was a stay-at-home mom with me and my sisters my whole childhood. And then she started working again when I was 14 or 15, I think. My parents got divorced during COVID. I was 15 at the time, which it's crazy that that was already 5 years ago, but I was a sophomore in high school when my parents got divorced. My mom has since been remarried. She's been married for a year and a half now, and my dad isn't married, but he's been dating the same girl for a couple of years, and they're basically married. They're just not legally married. I have an older sister who's 2 years older than me, and then I have a younger sister who's 2 years younger than me, and now since my mom is remarried, I have a little stepsister, and she's 12 years younger than me, but it's actually been really fun to have a big age gap because I'm only 2 years apart from both of my sisters. It's kind of fun to have like a little sister. She makes everything so much more fun, and holidays with her are the best. I graduated high school in 2022, and then I did a year of college and then dropped out. I hated it so much. I've hated all school. I hated high school. I didn't even ever want to go to college. I just feel like I had to. I've been doing social media for almost 4 years now, and I've been dating my fiance Mark for 3 years. We actually met in middle school, but we didn't really like each other all through like middle school and high school, and then we started dating our senior year, and we've just been together since. We also have our dog together named Otis. He'll be 2 in May, and he's the best dog ever. He's a mini golden doodle, and we love him so much. I feel like I've already been talking for so long, and I haven't even got to any questions yet. So let's start the Q&A part of this. I kind of sorted these into different sections. I did this in my last Q&A too. I have like a social media section, relationship, wedding, moving, religion, all of that. Okay, before I get into the sections though, the first question is how's life recently? Life has been so crazy lately. There's just been so much going on. We just moved into this house like 2 weeks ago, and I'm in the process of selling my old house right now. So just that alone has been crazy. Moving is so much work, and this house is a lot bigger than my old house, so we had to get a lot more furniture. So we've been unboxing and building furniture and just unpacking the whole house. I feel like just that alone has been so much work. And then it also was the holidays. I have a line coming out with a brand in a couple of weeks, so that's been crazy. We're also getting married, so I've been planning a wedding. Just life lately has been so busy. I am excited after our wedding for life to just kind of chill out a little bit because I just feel like I've had so much on my mind. But anyways, let's get into social media. Okay, first question is how did you get started in social media? I started social media on TikTok. The summer after my junior year of high school, I was so bored, and I had just sent out my ex-boyfriend on a mission, and I didn't have very many close friends, so I was like, literally, what am I gonna do this summer? I'm so bored. So I just started posting on TikTok, and I had a video that blew up. And ever since then, I've just kind of kept posting every single day for the last 3.5, 4 years, and it's kind of just grown from there. Now, while we're on the topic of TikTok, everyone's asking, what are you gonna do if TikTok gets banned? And obviously, it would suck so bad if TikTok did get banned, because that's my largest following, and I do make a lot of money from TikTok, but I also make money from different platforms. It's not my only source of income. I make money from Instagram, YouTube, Amazon, ShopMy, Like to Know It. I have a bunch of different platforms that I make money on, and obviously it would suck because I make a lot of money from TikTok, but also I would be perfectly fine without it. I also have a bunch of money in savings, and I'm in the process of selling my old house right now. I did put down a big down payment on this house, so my mortgage is actually the same as it was in my old house, even though this house is worth a lot more. I also think if TikTok gets banned, a lot of brands will do a lot more campaigns on Instagram, and all of the campaigns that I'm currently doing for the next couple of months that I've already signed contracts for and already have like started working on, all of those will just get switched over to Instagram. So long story short, it would suck, but I would be fine. All right, favorite brand deal you've ever had? Definitely my Dandy hoodie. That was so much fun. I got to design the hoodie. It turned out so perfect. We sold it at a pop-up, and so I got to go and meet a bunch of you guys. It was just so fun. The owner of Dandy is my friend Mia, so it was also fun to work with her. Everything about that was just so much fun. I still get tagged in people's stories and videos wearing the hoodie all the time, and it makes me so happy to see you guys wearing it. We originally did it in like a greenish blue color and a gray color, and then we did a limited edition pink color. color, and we sold that one at the pop-up. But I love all of the colors. I honestly think my favorite is like the blue-green one. The pink one is really fun, but I just love the color of the bluish-green one so much. All right, what is your favorite thing about being an influencer? I just feel like making videos is so much fun. Like, making content is such a fun creative outlet, and I love having so many videos to look back on. Like, I made videos my entire senior year of high school, the year I was in college, my whole relationship with Mark, getting a dog, buying our first house, buying our second house, everything. It's so fun that I have all of that documented, and I'll always be able to go back and watch all of those videos. Okay, next question is least favorite thing about being an influencer. I don't want to complain because I know that I have it so good. If I had to choose something that was like my least favorite part of being an influencer, it would definitely be either getting hate online or having people make up things about you. It's kind of weird when you hear something about yourself and it's just like completely not true at all. I'm like, where did someone even get that from? And I also feel like I have to justify everything I say and do because everything can be taken the wrong way or taken out of context. But for the most part, I love being an influencer. It's so much fun and I love connecting with all of you guys online. It's been such a good creative outlet and it's just so fun. I love making videos. I love editing videos. I love watching other people's videos. All right, last thing in social media is what are you gonna do when you have kids? / will you post your kids on social media? I don't want to say anything for sure because I don't have kids and I don't know what it will be like when I have kids. But for right now, I'm not planning on posting my kids on social media. I don't ever want to share their legal names, birthdays, personal information about them. Like maybe every once in a while you'll see them like running around in the background or maybe post like a family picture. But even that, I don't know if I would even do that. Like I'm not going to pretend I don't have kids, but my content has always been about me and I would just keep it about me and just leave my kids out of it is what I'm planning on doing, but also don't have kids. So I don't want to say anything for sure, but I do have kids in my life that I'm close to. I have a niece that I see all the time that I'm very close to. My little stepsister is still a kid. I don't post anything about them on social media ever, and I kind of just plan to do the same when I have kids. I'm sure I'll post a lot less because I'll have a lot less free time when I have kids to take care of, especially if I'm not going to put kids in my content. But I guess I'll just have to reevaluate when I have kids. All right, while we're on the topic of kids, I'm moving into my relationship section, and a lot of people wanted to know when we want to have kids and how many kids we want to have. Again, not saying anything for sure because I don't have kids. I don't know exactly when I want to have kids, but I know that we do want to wait a few years after we get married and just have it be the two of us and our dog. I do definitely want to have kids though. We both want to have 3 kids. I'll honestly just have to see how it is after I have 1 and 2 and how like being pregnant is because I know it's so different for everyone. But I would like to have 3 kids. I used to want to have 5 when I was little. Actually, when I was really little, I wanted to have 10. When I like became a teenager, I was like, okay, 5. And now that I'm like an adult and actually know more about having kids and being pregnant and all of that, I'm going with 3. But my plan is 3, maybe 2, maybe 4. We'll see. Also, I would want to wait until I'm 25 to have kids because then we would be married for 5 years and we've already been together for 3 years, so we'd have like a good 8 years together before having any kids. But I also don't want to say that for sure in case in like 2 years we decide we want to have a kid, which I don't think we will. But I don't want anyone to be like, I thought you said you were gonna wait till you're 25. So answer is we'll see. But as of right now, I want to wait until I'm 25 to have any kids. Okay, next. Was Mark your first boyfriend? No. Mark and I didn't start dating until I was 17, and it's not like you have really serious relationships before you're 17. I did have an ex-boyfriend that I dated for over a year that I was like serious with, like as serious as you could be for a 16-year-old. But I was pretty close to him and his family. I went on their family vacations, and I also had a boyfriend before that. I had like 2 other like serious boyfriends before Mark and I started dating. I don't know why in Utah it's like a thing to kiss a lot of guys. Everyone would be like, what's your kiss count? And it was like impressive if you had kissed a lot of guys. I don't know what's wrong with Utah, but I swear that's a thing. So whenever people would ask like, what's your kiss count? I didn't want it to be low, so I kissed a bunch of guys in high school. Mark was definitely not my first boyfriend, but obviously I wasn't like as serious with anyone else because I was literally 17 when we started dating. All right, next question is, do you want another dog? And when will you get another dog? We definitely do want another dog. I love Otis so much and I want him to have a little dog buddy. He loves all other dogs, and every time we're around another dog, he's just so happy. They play so well. So I definitely do want to get another dog so he can have a friend. But because life has been so crazy with moving and getting married and all of that, we definitely want to wait until life is like more chill. Maybe after our wedding we'll think about getting another dog, but I'm honestly not sure. But I definitely do think that we will get another dog. Maybe later this year, maybe next year. I don't know. Okay, next, is Mark in school? Does he have a job? Yes, he's in school, and yes, he also has a job. I think it's funny when people just think that Mark just like sits around all day. Mark is much more busy than I am. When I film a morning vlog and I'm in the bed alone, it's because Mark has been gone for hours at school or at work, and I'm the one that just like lays in bed until 9:30. But Mark is in his 3rd year of college, so this next year that's coming up will be his last year, and he'll graduate next year. He's majoring in finance, and he also works in finance right now. Can you talk about being on birth control? I feel like I've kind of been pretty open about being on birth control when I was on birth control, so I'm just gonna give you the whole story. I got on birth control my senior year of high school. I was 17, and I got the arm implant called Nexplanon. I got it in this arm, and I have mixed feelings on it. Yes, it worked because I didn't get pregnant, but also I was on my period constantly. I would literally be on my period 5-6 weeks at a time, and then I would have a week where I wasn't on my period, and then I would get on my period for weeks again. And it was weird because it wasn't like a normal period where you're like bleeding heavy for like a couple of days. I was spotting for like a month at a time, and then I'd have random days where I would be bleeding heavier. It was awful. Honestly, I am so glad that I got off of birth control. So I was on it for 2.5 years, and I would go through phases. Like I would be on my period for 6 weeks, and then I either would be off of it for a week, or I would be off of it for 6 weeks and then have like another 6-week long period. It was the weirdest thing. I know Nexplanon is different for everyone because my older sister had it and it just took her period away, which is what I was hoping would happen to me, but it made my periods so much worse. I feel like I was really just moody and like emotional. I would cry all the time when I was on it. Like every tiny little thing would make me cry, even if it wasn't sad. Like I was just very sensitive. He's wagging his tail in his sleep. Anyway, so back in September, I think, or maybe it was October. In September, October, I had been on my period for 4 weeks. I had been bleeding every day for a month. So I was like, I cannot do this anymore. So I called, made an appointment for the same day, went and got it out. Like it was so impulsive because I just like couldn't do it anymore. I was crying every day. I was so emotional. I also heard that some people like gain weight when they get on Nexplanon. That never happened to me, but I was just so done being on it. So I made an appointment, I went and got it out in the same day, and then I came home and I was like, okay, so what is the plan gonna be now? Because now I'm not on birth control. And I didn't want to get on a different form of birth control, so I didn't. And I'm still not on birth control, and I don't want to promote not being on birth control, but it's been amazing for me. I literally kind of feel like a different person when I'm not on birth control. So I have been using an Oura ring, using natural cycles, and tracking my cycle, and I'm very specific with it. And for me, at least, it's been very accurate. Like it will literally say you're gonna start your period on this day, and then that exact day every month I start my period. And sometimes I'll be like, why am I just having a really hard day today? I'm like super emotional, feeling very sensitive, and I'll go, it's like, oh, you're ovulating today. I'm like, how does it literally know this? Like at least for me, it's very accurate. So I've just been tracking my cycle, and I've been doing that for the last couple of months, and it's worked for me so far. I know everyone is different, but personally for me, Nexplanon was not the answer. And also I was really scared to get it out, but they just give you a numbing shot, and then I didn't feel anything, and it was out in like 2 seconds. All right, next up, let's talk about my wedding. So first question is, when are you getting married? We're getting married in June. I am so excited. We've been planning our wedding for a while, which in Utah is very uncommon. Usually engagements, I would say, are like 3 months, but we'll be engaged for a full year. So last year we had started planning our wedding. So in June, I was like, okay, this is the day that our wedding will be on next year. So let's see like how the weather is, like if it's warm, whatever. It was pouring rain the entire day. So I'm just like hoping that doesn't happen again on this day of this year. But if it does, it's whatever, we'll deal with it. But I'm hoping that in June it will just be sunny and warm. We're planning on having our ceremony outside, so fingers crossed it doesn't rain. I'm so excited for our wedding. Okay, next question, how is wedding planning going? Honestly, very good. I do not feel stressed about our wedding. I'm mostly just excited. Maybe it's because, again, for Utah, we've had a lot of time to plan it. Everyone I know here has gotten married. The longest engagement I've literally ever heard of here is like 6 months. So I feel like having a full year, we've had so much time to plan it, and like I've just been doing little by little and not feeling like, okay, I literally have to plan this entire wedding this month because there's no other option. So like we got to pick the venue we wanted, photographer we wanted, videographer, florist. Like I got everything I wanted because nothing was booked out that far in advance. So I honestly feel like wedding planning has been great. I'm not stressed at all. I don't have a wedding planner. I don't have a day of coordinator. The vibe for the wedding is just chill. I just wanted to be such a fun day with all of our friends and family. We're also not having a huge wedding, but I feel like in Utah it's kind of like you invite every person you've ever met in your life to your ceremony or your reception, and most people don't have a ceremony because they get married in the temple because everyone here is Mormon. So again, a small wedding for Utah. we're just having all of our like close friends and family at our ceremony and then inviting like a couple more people to our reception, but we're having like a smaller-ish ceremony and reception. I don't really feel stressed because if anything goes wrong, like it's just our close friends and family there anyways, so like who's gonna care if something goes wrong? Okay, next, are you taking Mark's last name? Yes, I'm taking Mark's last name. So my name will be Hallie Simons, but for some reason everyone always thinks his last name is Simmons, even though it's spelled S-I-M-O-N-S. I don't know why, like Simmons would have 2 M's, but everyone always thinks it's Simmons, and everyone always thinks my name is Haley. It's not that hard, but no one knows how to pronounce my name ever. So I just know for the rest of my life I'll be getting called Haley Simmons. I'm excited to be a Simons. It'll be kind of weird, but also I'll still keep my same initials because I'll still have a last name that starts with S. So I'm mostly just excited. I am not sad to lose my last name. Okay, last question for wedding. Did you ever think you would get married this young? Okay, I feel like this is kind of a mixed answer because when I was little, I always assumed I'd get married when I was like 20 because that's just like the Utah way. Once my parents got divorced, I was like, okay, I am not getting married till I'm 25. Like, I do not want to get married till I'm 25. But I also assumed that I wouldn't be marrying someone that I went to high school with, like someone I had known already for like years. The first time I met Mark was years and years ago. So I feel like yes and no, because like a couple years ago I was like, I'm not getting married till I'm 25. But when I was a kid, I just assumed I would get married when I was like 20. But also like we've known each other for years. We knew each other through middle school and high school. We also went to college together. We live together. We have a dog together. Like I honestly just feel like being married won't be that different because we're basically already married now besides legally. But I'm very excited to get married. All right, next up, let's talk about moving. I just moved into this house 2 weeks ago today, I think. 2 weeks ago yesterday. I also was like posting stuff like weeks after I had been filming it because I didn't want anyone to know we were moving until we were like in the house, closed on the house, everything moved over, all of that. The first question is, can you share the real timeline of your move? We went to look at the house. I want to say it was end of November. First week of December, put in an offer. Offer was accepted. We started like moving forward. We got the inspection, the appraisal, and then our closing date was supposed to be December 20th. So in the videos when I'm like, oh, we're moving next week, and it was the week before Christmas, I thought we were going to be moving in, like start moving stuff over before Christmas. So we were supposed to close on the 20th, and then one of my videos I said, oh, our closing date got pushed back 10 days, and then they needed like 2 days to move out after we closed. So we closed on the 30th, and then I didn't move in until January 2nd. We got the keys, and then we came in and like wiped everything down, cleaned everything out, filled all the holes, did all that. January 3rd, we had all of our friends and family come over, help us move everything to this house. So I've really been here since January 3rd. But the first time we looked at the house was the end of November, I think. A lot of people ask this, but what are you doing with your old house? So the plan was to maybe hold on to it for a little bit, like maybe rent it out, maybe sell it. I wasn't really sure. So currently I do still own the old house, but then we had someone in our lives who was looking to buy a house and they wanted to buy my house. So it honestly just worked out. So I'm actually under contract selling my house to somebody that I already know. So I never had to go through the process of listing it, getting a real estate agent, like any of that. All right, next question. I know you just moved, but would you ever move out of Utah? I'm gonna go with no. I think like if I did like a temporary move, like if I moved for a month somewhere, that could be fun. Maybe we would move to like California for some or something. I don't know. I think when we have kids, we'll be like pretty set on staying here. All right, another question I got asked a lot is why did you move? When I moved into my old house, I always planned on living there for a couple of years. I knew it wasn't our forever house. Like I knew we would move from that house eventually, but I did think that we would be there for like 5 years and not like 2 years. And I wasn't really looking to move or like planning on moving, but I saw that this house was listed and I just looked through the pictures and I was obsessed with it. It was the location we wanted, the size of house we wanted, size of bedrooms, all of that. And so I could not stop thinking about it. I looked at it and then I tried to forget about it for like a week, and every day I was thinking about it. I would go look through the listing photos again. I just loved the house. So I was like, okay, I have to just go and see it so I can just like have some peace of mind and move on. And then once I walked in the house, I was like, it just felt so right. It just felt so homey. It was where we wanted to be. I knew eventually we would move and we wanted to move into this area anyways. So I'm like, this house won't be available when we're ready to move in a couple of years. So why not just move into it now? And then I already had someone who wanted to buy our old house. So it all just kind of ended up working out. I do think that we'll be here for a very long time. I know I keep saying forever home, and I honestly kind of regret saying that a little bit because if we do ever move, I know people will be like flaming me for saying this was my forever house and then moving. But I can't predict the future. I think that we will be here for a long time, maybe forever. It's where we want it to be. The size of the house is perfect. There's so many bedrooms for once we have kids, and there's also just a lot of like living area. There's a lot of storage. There's a 3-car garage. Everything that I wanted in a forever home. But I honestly don't see us moving, if ever, for a very long time. I know things can always change because life is very unpredictable, but at least for right now, the plan is to stay here for a very long time. All right, last section. I always get asked about this. I don't want being ex-Mormon to be my only personality, which is why I rarely ever talk about it, but I always do get questions because I've mentioned it before. I always get asked if I'm Mormon. The answer is I technically am Mormon. Because I was baptized and I've never removed my records, I technically am still Mormon, but I'm inactive. I haven't been to church in years. I don't think I've been to church in 5-6 years, but I have been like occasionally for like if my friend's going on a mission, they give like a talk at their church, so I've been to that, or if they're coming home, or if someone's having a baby blessing, that kind of stuff. Like I have attended church before, but I'm not Mormon. I don't go to church. I don't follow the like Mormon rules. Okay, next question I get asked literally all the time is Mark Mormon? We were both raised Mormon and we're both technically still Mormon, but just inactive. I have nothing against the Mormon church. A lot of people I know are Mormon. They're amazing people. A lot of people I know aren't Mormon who are also amazing people. I just feel like you do whatever you want to do. If it works for you, that's great. If it doesn't work for you, also great. It doesn't work for me. So that's all I'm going to say about it, but no, we don't go to church. Yes, we're technically still Mormon, but we're inactive. Okay, going along with that, people have been asking if we're getting married in the temple, and the answer to that is no. People also ask, will you raise your kids Mormon, or like, will we have our kids get baptized, which is like becoming a member of the church? And the answer to that is also no. Last question, would you ever go back to church? Again, I never want to say like never on anything because things can always change, but as of now, I'm gonna say no. I have no intentions of ever going back to church. Again, I have nothing against anyone who does go to church, but for me personally, I have no plans on ever going back. All right, those are all the questions. I feel like I've literally just been sitting here talking for like literally an hour probably. I don't even want to know how much footage I have to go back through and edit. I tried to answer like the questions that I saw most. If you have any other questions about me, you can comment them on this post and I'll do my best to respond to each one. But that's a little bit more about me. I have so many exciting things coming up this year that I'm so excited about. I think TikTok is supposed to be getting banned tomorrow if it does like go through on the 19th. So probably by the time I posted this, I'll already know. But if TikTok is getting banned, or even if it isn't, I will still continue to post on YouTube. But my goal was to do once a week and I did pretty good at doing that last year. And also if TikTok gets banned, I'll continue posting YouTube shorts. But thank you guys so much for being here. If you watched this whole video, I love you. I know I've literally just been sitting yapping for so long, but I love you guys. Thank you for watching and thank you so much for supporting me. And hopefully I'll be making a lot more videos on YouTube.